Headline: you have just launched something that is going to help research be done years faster and save people tons of time. Institutions, the federal government, taxpayers, save them millions of dollars. Jeremy, what just happened?
Well, what happened was the launch of version 3.0 of the SMART IRB agreement. It is really the future of single IRB research in the country. Rather than saying this has to wait for a month, maybe 2 months, it went to in the same week, sometimes the same day.
What? Same day?
It's very quick. I still remember one case I had where I executed the reliance arrangement, sent it on to, in this case, it was a commercial IRB, and they sent it back in 15 minutes.
That's huge.
We've had 259 institutions as of the last 4 weeks have already signed on.
259 in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks.
Not too shabby.
And we have 1,300 and something like 1,360 or so institutions, tens of thousands of studies, tens of thousands of researchers across the country. It's enormous. It's difficult to imagine the research environment in the United States without the SMART IRB. It would be really hard for me to even picture what that would look like today. So the acronym is Streamlining Multi-Site Accelerated Resources Trials IRB.
Nice.
We are not an IRB, and our goal is really to help IRBs and all things related to multi-site research under a single IRB.
How did you get into this?
Grandfather was in a clinical trial before he passed, and he had talked about work that they were doing was phenomenal.
What was Grandpa's name?
Bill. He had colon cancer. He had it numerous times, and so it was a recurrent case, and he was at the stage where research was the only option. I remember he said, this may not help me, but I know this will help others.
That's huge.
It always stuck with me. Of course, when I got into the IRB world, I thought of my grandpa. I still remember the day when I had this eureka moment. I was basically like exhausted. How am I going to get through some of this stuff? And I was like, well, I'm going to take a break for an hour. I'm going to watch a Smart Talk.
Okay.
And I heard Nichelle Cobb talk about how you can use some of these Smart IRB resources to alleviate pressure on not only yourself, but on the research community generally. And I shot up from the couch and I said, that's it. I'm going to use Smart IRB's resources.
The angels were singing, the lights were
That's
shining.
right. My cats freaked out because they were like, why are you getting up so quickly? And so I realized that's the answer. I try to recreate the wheel. So I started on the path of taking the template resources that Smart IRB provides and then rendering them applicable for UChicago. And I still remember we had a researcher that came from another institution. I said, well, you're in luck, because we use Smart IRB for everything. And they said, oh, great. I know how to follow the rules. And so this was easy. So, from a compliance perspective, it was like another moment where I was like, okay, this is just the way to do it. Because people change roles all the time.
Before Smart IRB even existed, take us back to this desolate wasteland of despair. What was everybody struggling with?
Prior to the Smart IRB, the common model was that there'd be a legal review. It would go to what's called your institutional official. And because you didn't have a long-standing framework agreement, you effectively had to do all of the work piecemeal and redoing it all over and over again.
So say you're an institution and I'm an institution, and we already did tons of research on it.
Yeah.
Every single time we had to redo the same work?
Basically, yeah. And so really that's what a framework reliance agreement does. It says we've already made this agreement. So anyone who signed on can basically use it as much or as little as they'd like. And so it's really streamlining inefficiencies and removing barriers that really shouldn't be there in the first place. And it's taking away the things that are barriers to discovery, barriers to progress. And it's a win-win situation, right? Rising tide raises all boats.
Yes.
Our research community loves it because it's fast. The IRB staff love it because it's comprehensive. And we provide resources and training and materials, and you don't have to create your own standard operating procedures and things like that. And institutional officials love it too because it lightens their load.
That's one of the rare occasions, right, where there's something that literally benefits everybody.
That's right.
What are some of the biggest differences, some of the things you're most proud of from 2.0 to 3.0?
So the thing I'm probably most proud of is that 3.0 is set up to allow for additional government agencies to join. So we've been working with the Department of Defense, with the VA, with the Department of Energy, with, of course, the NIH, who is our #1 signatory of version 3.0. I would say that's one of the primary goals of 3.0 is to open it up so that Smart IRB can act as a conduit not only between the agencies, but also between academic medical centers and those agencies. And we designed the agreement so that we ensure that federal policies have to be followed. And I would say that is one thing that is really new and exciting about 3.0 is that if you're having an EPA study and if EPA joins, well, then we're going to have to make sure that you're following EPA's policies and their processes.
Great.
It's easier for the researcher, easier for the institution, easier for the governmental agency, and there's really no downside to it.
If any of these governmental agencies had any questions or needed to talk more about it, it sounds like you would be more than willing and happy to address feedback and keep optimizing this. Like, this isn't the end of SMART IRB evolutions.
We're always fine-tuning and tweaking, and we're always looking to have tomorrow be better than yesterday. And I'll tell you, I personally spent, I think it was over 100 hours analyzing all of the feedback we received.
Wow.
We did analysis on every single comment. We responded to every single person who provided feedback to us.
Every single person.
Every single person.
From around the country.
It takes a lot of thought, a lot of work, frankly, but it's been worth it.
I'm sensing a theme here, Jeremy, that you care and that the SMART IRB team cares, because I don't know many places that would take that much time to go through and acknowledge every single person who reached out. Kids, for Grandpa Bill, they all would have access to studies faster.
Yeah.
For researchers and study teams, they could start sooner and be able to add more people on. And for IRB teams, staff, reliance managers, they get to ensure there is safety and standard quality, rules and regulations that are being applied so that their life is also faster and easier.
That's right. And there may even be other opportunities too. Like if you don't have an IRB at your institution, SMART IRB is a great way to get involved in the research world. You can say, go to smartirb.org and watch the videos. Whether you're big or small, there's something for you with SMART IRB, I think. The onboarding process is quick. And so if you're an existing institution and you want to join 3.0, we have user guides available. So far, we've had a lot of people say that it's never been easier, and they were really happy that they don't have to, do a wet signature and then photocopy it and then turn it into a PDF and then scan it.
So
Gone are those days.
How much does it cost someone to access this bastion of glory that you've created to make life easier and get research done faster?
It's free.
All of this, all of Jeremy's care, all free.
All of it. So it's free to join. It's free to maintain membership, free to use it as little or as much as you'd like. We don't charge for consultations. We don't charge at all. So there are zero costs for anything associated with this. So this is the great part about the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences.
Go NCATS.
NCATS is really the brainchild behind making this free for the country and the platform to do the agreement. But we also provide consultations. We have SMART IRB ambassadors all across the country willing to help. And, I'll take an hour with somebody who's struggling through an issue, or maybe they just have a question about how to do best practices on something.
That's amazing. So you create this wonderful platform. And it's not just, oh, have fun, folks, go figure it out on your own. But literally, you're building what sounds like a fun community between the office hours, the weekly talks, the sharing the wins, the fact that people can just come to you and ask those questions.
One of the things that SMART IRB does is we kind of level the playing field. It's public service. It's basically is what it is at the core. Go to bed at night and know that you hopefully helped people throughout the day.
Yeah, you helped more grandpas. Yeah.
That's the hope.
Thank you so much for Coffee Talk today and for sharing the story behind this and all of the cool things that people have to look forward to. I really am excited to sit down again and hear more of these impacts. And in the interim, where do you want people to go to connect with you and the team?
www.smartirb.org.
Fabulous. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.